Hey guys, this is Allison Larson with Family Foot Reflexology, and today we're going to be talking about keys for retaining clients. This is so important. You want people to come back and to keep seeing you because that's how they're going to really progress and grow. So before we get started, I want to give you a couple of bonus tips, things that I do to prepare for a client. And make sure that the space that I'm seeing them in is nice and clean. You want a relaxing, calm atmosphere, maybe some music playing, something in the diffuser. It's going to help them to want to return. So it's really that feeling when they first walk in the door. Make sure you have a big smile, and you always want open arms when you welcome a client. Alright, so getting to our outline now, you should have all pulled this up on Google Docs. We're going to talk about different keys for retaining clients. So the first thing on here is print out a chart for each client. This is a foot chart. You can either print this right from your manual. It's found in the Introduction to the Foot. And it's that chart that shows the body mapped out on the foot. So the human body and then the feet on either side. There's plenty of space at the bottom for notes, or you can print off the foot zone chart that we have included in the Google Docs. That has a nice space for notes in there as well. You want to make sure and highlight problem areas on the foot as you work with the client and they show up, or you can just write down the different areas at the bottom. But you're really keeping a record and making note of this for the client so you can chart their progress. As they grow and as they have fewer areas on the foot, they'll be able to see this because you've charted it. You want to make other notes below as well. Maybe the oils that you use, some other things that come to your mind, any suggestions that you have, write those down as well. And then you're going to copy this off before the client leaves. Now, one copy is for you and one copy is for the client. So then you can have a record, and before the client comes again, you can review their chart and really remember what you talked about last time and some of the areas that showed up. And then they have a chart that they can compare their notes to. The next is to share your story with the client. Especially when you first meet with a client, you really want to share your story. This is something I would encourage that you to write down and really practice and come up with. You don't want it to sound rehearsed, you want it to sound authentic. However, what you're wanting to do is really identify those emotions, maybe some words that people can connect with. Like before you learned about foot zoning, maybe you were feeling hopeless, helpless, you were in despair. After learning foot zoning and the tools that go along with it, maybe you were feeling hopeful, encouraged, empowered. And really write down especially these words and make sure you use them when you're telling your client about your story. Now you want your client to state their intention before beginning a session. The first couple of times I meet with a client, actually will call them or email them or text them ahead of time and ask them to please come prepared with an intention. This is what they want to accomplish or achieve or get out of the session. It really is going to provide you with clear direction. After you meet with them a couple of times, just let them know that you're going to expect an intention every single time, and they'll start thinking of one beforehand. You're going to help your client to recognize, release, and replace during the session. So you're really recognizing negative emotions. You want to help them release those, especially during that solar plex point on the foot, and then have them identify some positive emotions they want to replace that with. You can also use other tools or give other suggestions to the client as well, some things that you've used that have been very successful with recognizing, releasing, and replacing those emotions. The next one is to have your client return and report. So before your client leaves, give them something that they can work on or do throughout the week so they feel like they're doing something to help work towards their goals. For example, maybe you have a client that's dealing or struggling with low self-esteem and they really want to be more confident. So maybe an assignment you could give them is some positive affirmations and give them a very clear expectation of what they should do. So say it 3 times a day out loud in front of the mirror with your arms open using your body language. Write it down on your sheet and then tell them that you're going to follow up with them at the next appointment and see how that's going. And just by knowing that you're going to ask them about it, they'll be more likely to do it. Next one is to place a follow-up call. So when you're first getting started, a personal call is really nice to somebody. Hey, how are you feeling? How did things go after the foot zone? Do you have any questions for me? Once they've met with you a few times, or if you're really busy, just an email or a text. Hey, just thinking about you, hope all's going well, how are you feeling today? Something like that. And it really helps them to know that you are in it for the long haul. You want to help them progress and grow and are really invested in them. And you're wanting to make a plan. When you meet with a client, you never want to let them go without making a plan, putting a plan in place. So the ideal plan would be for them to meet with you every week. This is the quickest way for them to grow and progress and to work through their issues. They're going to see the best physical and emotional benefits by meeting every week. But maybe they can't meet every week. Maybe it doesn't fit in their schedule or with their budget. So give them an option of every other week. Say, you're going to grow and progress faster if we meet every week, but every other week would be great too. Give them some very clear options, and then at the end ask them which one of these works for you. Now, you could give them the option of once a month or once every 3 weeks, but I have found that if you wait longer than 2 weeks, oftentimes it's almost like you're starting over at square one. So really encourage them to meet with you at least every other week. And the last thing on here is to celebrate success. Nobody wants to go and hear all their problems every time. They want to hear that they're growing and progressing and doing well. So celebrate with them if they have fewer points show up on the foot. Celebrate with them if they were able to make some emotional gains, if they felt better, if they felt like they were more successful throughout the week. Maybe what you celebrate is that they're just able to recognize more easily, more clearly some of those negative things in their life. Really find something positive and celebrate that with them each time. They'll be more likely to come back and see you. So I hope this has been helpful for you. You are amazing, and I know that you will be an amazing foot zoner. You just got to get those clients to come back and to keep seeing you, and people's lives will change as you share these tools with them. Have a great day.